These are the deadliest moments caught on dashcams, kicking off the video with a woman who nearly got kidnapped. On the November 21st, 2018, a 24-year-old woman named Vanessa Donay sat in the back seat of her mother's Chevy Equinox with her 2-year-old daughter, waiting for her mother to finish an appointment at a business centre in Windsor, Canada. At one point during the wait, Vanessa noticed a suspicious man walk past their vehicle, staring at it for a little longer than necessary. Almost immediately after walking out of frame, the man doubled back and approached the car. With an alarmingly casual demeanour, the man opened the unlocked passenger door and entered the vehicle, only to find Vanessa and her daughter sitting in the back seat. Understandably terrified, Vanessa screamed at him. Although the rest of the incident wasn't caught on camera, Vanessa later reported that as soon as the man saw her, he gave her a disturbing smile, shut the door, and took off in his black pickup truck. After she reported the incident to the police and posted the video on Facebook, theories about his intentions began circulating. Some viewers speculated that he had seen Vanessa's daughter alone in the car and thought he could abduct her. Others believed he hadn't noticed anyone inside and was simply trying to steal the vehicle. Just 3 days later, officers with the Windsor Police Property Crimes Unit spotted the man driving a vehicle into a parking lot near the area of the incident. According to the police report, as soon as he got out of the car and entered an apartment building, officers followed and arrested him without incident. The suspect was quickly identified as 38-year-old Corey Oikel. As it turned out, the vehicle he was driving had been stolen, supporting the theory that he had only intended to steal Vanessa's car, not kidnap her daughter. Inside Oikel's car, police found several stolen items from his previous car thefts, along with a pile of random receipts indicating he had made fraudulent transactions using stolen property. Court documents released a few months later revealed that this wasn't his first offence. Investigators linked him to several similar crimes from earlier that year. Corey Oikel was charged with 4 counts of possession of stolen property, 3 counts of theft, 2 counts of assault, uttering threats, attempted theft of a motor vehicle, theft of a motor vehicle, theft of mail, and fraud. Fortunately, Vanessa was quick-thinking enough to scare him off by screaming, before he could do anything even more messed up than his previous crimes. This next extremely disturbing incident took place around 7 a.m. on May 18, 2021, in West Pensacola, Florida. In the footage captured by a nearby parked car's dashcam, an 11-year-old girl can be seen kneeling on the grass, waiting for her school bus. A few seconds into the video, a white Dodge Journey circles around her. Although she notices the vehicle, she doesn't seem alarmed. Unfortunately, the man behind the wheel wasn't just casually driving through the neighbourhood, as she might have assumed. Just a minute and a half later, the same white car pulls over at the edge of the roundabout, its driver completely unaware that his license plate is being recorded. Once again, the girl glances at the car several times, but with no real reason to be afraid yet, she stays where she is. That's when the driver gets out and does the unthinkable. In an act of pure evil, the man attempts to snatch the girl and carry her back to his car. She bravely fights back, struggling against his grip. Eventually, the man stumbles, causing both of them to fall onto the grass. Realizing his cover has been blown, he scrambles to his feet, rushes back to his car, and speeds away. It's terrifying to imagine what could have happened if the man hadn't tripped and fallen. Fortunately, his license plate was clearly recorded, making it easy for police to track him down and arrest him that same evening. Later that night, the West Pensacola Sheriff's Department identified the suspect as 30-year-old Jared Paul Stanger. According to the police report, he was armed with a knife at the time of the attack. Investigators also discovered that Stanger had a lengthy criminal history. Additionally, they found that the Dodge Journey he was driving had been freshly painted, most likely in an attempt to avoid detection. Disturbingly, just 2 weeks before the incident, the little girl had told her school principal that a man in a white car had pulled up to a bus stop and spoken to her. However, no actions were taken to protect her. After the attack, Jared Stanger was charged with attempted kidnapping of a child under 13, aggravated assault and battery. Luckily, the girl was found safe. though understandably shaken by the terrifying ordeal she endured that morning. But moving on, this next dashcam footage shows how close one man was to losing his life. This dashcam footage was captured in the early morning hours of May 2nd, 2023 in Browns Plains, Australia. In it, a white car can be seen travelling through a series of roundabouts before continuing on a straight road. Everything seems calm at first, but just 10 seconds into the video, something unsettling appears on the driver's dashcam. Disturbingly, a woman can be seen crossing the street right as the car approaches and practically throwing herself at the vehicle. A couple of seconds later, a man rushes toward the alleged victim and tries to get the driver to stop. However, the driver had the common sense to speed away. Had he been distracted or shocked by the incident, he might have made the mistake of stopping and getting out to check on the woman. Fortunately, the man and woman's poor acting made it obvious that something suspicious was going on, and that the driver could have been in danger if he had exited his vehicle. It's difficult to determine the exact intentions of someone desperate enough to throw themselves into oncoming traffic, but according to the description in the original video, the driver initially suspected the incident was an attempted insurance scam. In such scams, the supposed victim and an accomplice stage an accident, fake severe injuries, and then file exaggerated claims to receive compensation from the insurance company. Although this was the driver's first thought, the real reason he fled so quickly was far more alarming. Later that morning, he reported the incident to the police and mentioned in his statement that, although it wasn't captured by the dashcam, something even more disturbing happened. As soon as the man on the roadside rushed toward the supposedly injured woman, a group of men emerged from the shadows and sprinted toward the vehicle from behind. Realizing the danger he would be in if he got out, the driver took off immediately to avoid what could have been a carjacking, extortion, or even kidnapping attempt. According to the Browns Plains police station, an investigation was launched following the report, but the people involved were never found. It remains unknown what would have happened if the driver had stepped out to check on the woman, or even if he had stayed in his car a few moments longer. One can only assume that the men had something far more sinister in mind. In 2016, a YouTuber named Bear with Hat uploaded alarming footage that he recorded on his phone in June of that year. In the video's caption, he explained that after leaving his friend's house in Keller, Texas, he noticed a white Dodge Challenger closely following him. Suspecting he was being tailed, he pretended to enter the I-35 highway, but swerved onto a service road at the last second. To his horror, the white car did the same, continuing to follow him. In an attempt to shake it off, Bear with Hat made a sudden U-turn at an overpass and pulled over on the other side of the highway. However, when he saw the Dodge still trailing him, he sped off again and stopped in a turning lane near a hospital at the next intersection. That's when the white car pulled up in front of him, its left turn signal still flashing. And this is where things took a darker turn. Just seconds after the uploader started recording in an attempt to capture the car's license plate, a man stepped out of the Dodge's driver's side and approached him. Another man, who wasn't clearly caught on camera, also began exiting the vehicle. However, the uploader floored it and escaped before he could fully see the second man. In the video's description, the victim mentioned that if the passenger side man hadn't moved out of the way in time, he would have run him over without hesitation. At some point during his escape, the uploader dropped his phone on the floor of his Hyundai Elantra to focus on driving. He then headed toward a grocery store where he knew a police officer was likely stationed outside. As soon as the Dodge's driver noticed him approaching the officer, he broke off the pursuit and fled in a different direction. Thanks to the uploader's quick thinking and well-timed reaction, we'll likely never know what the two men had planned for him that night. But judging by their threatening behaviour, it couldn't have been anything good. What are your thoughts on these 5 close calls? Do let us know in the comments.